the worst hour of the week with Bryan Vokey and Ramsey Badawi.
Okay.
The slippery alligator takes apples out of the Do you know any of those things? Broadcast warm-up tricks?
No, I don't know. I've never warmed up. I've never warmed up for anything in my entire life. Everything I've ever done.
Have you ever stretched?
Nope. I've literally never stretched. Even when I was younger and we would be in like PE, gym, and people
You'd
would
fake
stretch,
it?
I'd have at it. It didn't make any sense to me.
Stretching?
Yeah.
And it still does, present tense does not make sense to you?
No, not at all.
And have you ever woke up in the middle of the night, like just in pain?
Oh, yeah, all the time. Pretty much every single time I wake up.
I bet if you stretched.
I just don't see how that's related. I don't see how those things could possibly be related.
So what do you think is causing the night pains?
I mean, at this point, it's getting kind of hard to tell. So
I feel so exposed, by the way. I've done like 9 things with my hands already. We've got the cameras. Our dicks are out.
yeah, you know what? This is actually something that my therapist suggested I do. That's why we removed the table. Of course, if you're listening to the show, you don't have any idea what we're talking about. But if you're watching us on YouTube, like one of our smarter listeners, you'll know that there's been a major set change.
Yeah, listen, I have never broadcasted. I've been on other podcasts where they do that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But in my own den, in my own home court, I never broadcast with my dick out.
I never realized that that's where the major vulnerability is that you do have your dick out. And
I just like you, I put a wall
yeah.
of safety for them and me, because if they see what I'm working with, they're not going to be paying attention.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about them, thinking about me, and now it's just a mess.
It's a mess, yeah. But here's the thing: over this the course of this pandemic, I've noticed that my dick has significantly grown. Hence why my pants are fitting a little bit less well these days. Purely because of the dick.
Yeah, I've always. Doctor says he's never seen anything like it, but I add weight in my cock.
So only
That's
because
like,
I've added away.
when I go keto, it's like it's embarrassing. I get the tiniest cock in the world.
You lose
But,
so much dick. Yeah.
But once I start eating Cinnabon and shit, fat hog.
Fat hog. And that's really absolutely the fat hog diet.
Yeah, dude. I mean, some people gain it in their hips, some people gain it in their lips.
Mine's just pure right in the sausage, dog.
And mine's just the head.
That's not okay.
It looks like a mace. Like a medieval mace.
That's not healthy. It shouldn't look like a virus underneath a microscope. That's not healthy, man. You should definitely get that checked out.
Okay.
As part of the new setup here, I would like to address something right up top to those listening on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/worsthourpod, of course. I am not used to being this close to a light switch. I'm not. And it's a little
Are you nervous?
I'm a little, it feels truly like we are broadcasting from inside of a closet. So just letting everybody know, we're going to transition, because if this works, we're going to get much more comfortable chairs to make this work.
A lot of people don't know that Worst Hour Studios 6.0 is in a storage space.
It looks like we are in the, I've said this before, but now more than ever, it looks like we are in the bathroom of a hookah bar. It looks like Bryan and I are sitting here and we're waiting for you to come up and need to wash your hands after you piss. We're gonna grab Mentos.
I do think that this setup right here, these lights do have a very hookah vibe to it. And it would be just like, I think a hookah bar would have a thing where like you turn on a switch, it says on air when you're in the bathroom. It would make everybody laugh.
We're going to get a hookah. Actually, that is absolutely what we're going to do with this month's Patreon. We're getting a hookah. We're putting it between us. And as we do the show, we'll use the hookah moving forward.
You have
every episode.
You have no idea how excited I am for that, because I've said on before, I have a personal rule. I don't smoke shisha without a person from that culture present.
Yeah.
Because I can't, it feels too corny. I feel really goofy. I feel like I don't know, the Cheshire Cat or something. It's like really embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the caterpillar. Yeah.
It's like going to Benihana's alone.
Yeah. I've always bring Japanese people. I've never been to Benihana without a Japanese friend.
Wow, that's a good point. Yeah. I guess it's not that good of an analogy. You're right. I'll be fair. Fine, Bryan. It's not the best one.
But that's the first thing I do when I go to Berlin. I go to the shisha shop with Keenan.
I don't know what language shisha is. It's not Arabic. Shisha's got to be like Turkish or.
It was taught to me by an Arab.
Yeah. But I'm curious. Tyler is fucking just ahead of us here by a mile. We're gonna figure out whether it's a because I don't know what the origin of it is.
I thought shisha was the actual tobacco and hookah was the pipe.
It may be an Arabic word. I don't know. It's not a word that we've ever used. We did have hookah growing up. Is that see? That's not common for you, correct? Your family didn't have hookahs? Is that...
No, there were no hookahs in my family. Cigars.
It is honestly, when I think about my childhood, it's shocking that to imagine a childhood home without several hookahs. We had multiple hookahs, some that broke.
Right. I'll tell you this: there were things smoked off of tinfoil in my family.
Sure,
but it was not tobacco coals.
That to me is so wild. How fun to have a family member. Oh, you know what? I probably have some family members who are smoking things out of foil. I'm sure opium.
Because you put when you're smoking a hookah, you put the coals on the tin foil.
Yeah, and then the tobacco under the thing. The tobacco's nice. It's all weird and
I like the watermelon. That's my favorite flavor. Ooh, and I feel like it's not like a cigarette, right? It's
I'm not sure. I feel like every other year it's like it's worse for you, it's better for you.
To me, it's like vaping.
It's got to be just as bad for you as vaping. It can't be any worse.
But I feel like vaping is better than a cigarette, right?
Vaping is absolutely better than a cigarette. I don't know. Tyler, is there any
information on shisha, first of all?
First of all, let's find out what the origin of shisha is.
That's the real name.
Mm-hmm.
Shisha is the real name?
No, muasil.
Muasil. Okay. Is that something honey or something or...
So it says,
ooh, see, I kind of knew it. Okay.
A syrupy tobacco mix containing molasses, vegetable glycerol, and various flavorings, which is smoked in a hookah, a type of water pipe. It is also known as shisha.
Okay. No information there, Wikipedia. Thank you.
Yeah. We don't know what came first, shisha, hookah, muasil.
Regardless, we are going to get a hookah for the studio, and we have nobody but you to thank for that. Thank you so much.
Dude, think how dope that would look like, right on the middle centerpiece.
It would look so good.
Can you get a 3-hoser in case we get guests?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, a third hose. We'll even let Tyler hit it every once in a while if he wants to.
Ooh, a 4-hoser?
Oh no, the third. I was saying the third could be either guest or Tyler's gonna hit it, not both.
We gotta make sure we sanitize those mouthpieces.
We have to talk to the city of Glendale to figure out if we need a license. We end up going full business.
They do a forearm hair check. They check your forearm. If you have enough hair on it, then you don't need a license. But if you have, dude, I shaved my arm today.
I don't think Why did you shave your arm?
Because I fidget while I'm working at the computer, and there was a razor near me, and I just started shaving over my tattoo, and then I had a big bald spot on my arm, so I just ended up just shaving the whole arm. I want to go swimming, dude. I feel like I'll be faster.
Oh, dude, your arm's gonna look like a mess tomorrow. You found first of all.
No, I didn't find a razor. My razor I was just listening to music when I shaved my face, and I just accidentally brought the razor with me to my computer desk.
Okay, and then
I was just fidgeting with it, running it on my arm.
Do you think it's normal to just fidget with the razor and shave your arm? Like, you just keep kind of running into this story like, I'm going to go, oh, of course. Yeah, of course. Everybody fucks around and shaves their arm hair every once in a while. What were you thinking when you shaved the hair around your tattoo? Were you like, I'm going to try to like really...
I wanted to see if there's dry skin on there and what the tattoo would look like as I, ran the razor on it and kicked up all that dust.
But there was like a world where you were like, I'm going to have like, it's going to make my tattoos look way cooler.
No. It had nothing to do with that.
I mean, it must have a little bit to do with that.
No, it had nothing to do with that. It was satisfying because when I looked at the back of the razor, when I turned it around, it was dusty and there was hair in there because there was all the dry skin.
Yeah.
And it looked cool.
I remember when I was in wrestling, I did, shave my arm hair. I don't. And I did you do the same thing?
For
Tyler?
what? What'd you shave your legs for, Tyler?
You just
they just get dirty.
Yeah.
For what sport?
Wrestling.
For wrestling, yeah, because Tyler and I are both wrestlers. We're both grapplers, hence why we have such a found respect for one another. Tyler and I have even been thinking about starting a wrestling podcast. Not professional wrestling. We follow high school wrestling.
Greco, catch. What kind of wrestling are you talking about here?
Really everything. Freestyle, collegiate. Is that the word, collegiate?
Yeah, collegiate.
Wow, well, we're going to cover it all. Anything
other than pro wrestling.
As long as they're underage boys.
This was Tyler's idea, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler kept emphasizing that part.
Yeah,
and I was
yeah.
like, Tyler, you really got to, I don't know about the underage part, but
Yeah. Just say amateur.
He said it
Don't
would-
call him underage.
he said the podcast would not work unless we use the word underage. So,
You're listening to Underage Boys Wrestling Podcast. I'm Tyler Gazar.
and just to be clear, we want to be clear, we're not wrestling the boys. We're just covering underage wrestling
Technique.
boys. Yeah, of course.
Looking
Yeah.
at their technique.
Interviewing them sometimes with their shirts off.
Yeah. Wearing their cup on your face like a gas mask.
Our Patreon is going to be on the dark web. Join the Patreon if you really want to see some
so-
crazy shit.
So look out for Tyler and Ramsey and not Bryan's podcast, Underage Wrestling Boys.
Well, it's not going to be for the United States. It's going to be for release in Turkey. The Turks are going to, it's going to be huge in Turkey. Can you do that? I'm sure there are some podcasts that are only exclusively out there.
This podcast is one of those, what we call a Thai podcast. You can only do it in Thailand.
So that'll be something to look forward to here on the network. Now that I've decided we're launching a network.
Do you know what's going on right now as we speak?
What is?
My girlfriend is moving into my room, not for permanent.
Whoa. She's moving into your place?
For a month.
Whoa. Oh, for a month. Okay, temporary situation.
She's in between places.
Yeah.
But
This is like when the government is like, we're gonna agree to have a budget by 30 days,
Yes.
and then in 30 days they're like, you know what, it'll actually be in 2 months,
Well,
and
now
then
we're
it'll
in
be 4
recess,
months, and now
it's
we're in
Christmas.
recess. Yeah, absolutely.
she is planting those seeds.
Next thing you know, there's a $6 trillion deficit.
Yeah.
I'm talking about you, Brian. You're gonna be $6 trillion in debt.
So she's paying half my rent for the month she's staying there. Is that wrong?
No. That's right. I think that's about right. I would have charged her a little bit more because you're facilitating the payment. So obviously,
I mean, she's
little-
paying a little bit for the extra room that I rent out.
yeah, I would say I would charge her a
Finder's
service fee.
Yeah.
5%. Like it's obviously standard.
I charge her a pet deposit too for Joni.
Oh, is Joni going to be staying?
Where would Joni be?
Joni's such a fine dog. I wouldn't be shocked if it was like, no, Joni actually has her own place.
Let me tell you about Joni. Okay, so your boy started dabbling in marijuana recently. And I started smoking weed at night.
Tyler and I are really disappointed about this, by the way. This is
Yeah, I
upsetting to hear.
So like I was doing some edits and I was like, I need to see this in a different light because I was stuck in the edit. And so I went and bought an eighth and I smoked a little bit of it and then I broke through and the edit came out great. So I was like, maybe I'll do my day work and then I'll reassess my day work at night high and get a better angle on it. So now fast forward.
The devil works in mysterious ways. I mean,
Fast
God
forward.
bless him.
I'm watching Joni alone. I take a little hit of a bowl. And I'm a lightweight. I've smoked weed for 10 years, couldn't get into it. Like it just fucking.
It either, you have the receptors or you don't,
Yeah, I'm a lightweight, so I get high. So I get high, and I realize I have a giant box of grapes downstairs in the fridge. And got them from Costco, 2 pounds.
Now I have a question. When you have grapes, you ever freeze them?
Yes.
I just found out about frozen grapes
And
very
then you shove
recently.
them up your ass.
Oh, dude. Honestly,
Right?
a frozen grape is so good, I guarantee it would be good up your ass.
In the summer?
Guarantee
Are you
it.
kidding me?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Get them up there.
That's right. That's the only reason I have popsicles, because I don't eat sugar.
You put a grape up your ass, frozen grape up your ass, how quickly do you think it's a raisin? 5 minutes, I imagine.
It depends. I would say for me, in this room, I'd be the quickest.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd be pumping out California raisins quick.
Don't underestimate my ability,
Well, the acid that you're working with all the energy drinks.
which could be potentially dangerous, according to a new story that we'll check out later today on the Worst Hour podcast.
Exactly. So I get high. I'm going downstairs. I start fucking mowing grapes down. I'm listening to a podcast. I'm just chewing the shit out of grapes. All of a sudden, fireworks go off. I know that freaks out Joni super bad. So I go up to check on her, give her some water, try to calm her down. I have some CBD treats that I was going to give her. I can't find her. And I am high.
Yeah.
I can't find her anywhere in the house. I tear apart the house.
Yeah.
3-4 times. I can't find her. I run outside. I'm like, she got out. She got out when I took out the trash.
Oh, dude, for that to happen while you're stoned, to think that you lost your girlfriend's. And by the way, Joni is like a prize dog.
Not only is Joni a prize dog, but as you know, and as Tyler knows, one of the most famous comedians in the world's dog deceased on my watch.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember that?
I don't recall this.
You remember the last house I lived at?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching her dog.
Well, why don't you now just say it? What's the point? Can you not say that?
I don't know if she wants that. I don't know if she wants that out there.
No, you just blue balling our listeners.
All right. Maria Bamford's dog.
Yeah.
Deceased on my watch. I don't want to tell that story right now.
But nonetheless, it happened.
So it's happened to me before. Dog has died on my watch. So I'm running up and down the street yelling Joni.
Yeah.
I can't find her anywhere.
When the dog died on your watch, was it your fault or was there some kind of a like dog stroke or something?
It's such a sad story. I don't want to get into it. It's such a sad story. Hold on. Let me tell this one.
Okay. All right.
So I'm running all around East LA screaming for Joni. And I can't find it.
Dude, people in East LA thought you were just like a drunk dude, like chasing after his girlfriend.
For real, though. Wait, I get in the car because I'm like, at this point, she's covered enough distance where she could be farther than I could walk in my slides. So I get in my car and I start driving around and I'm yelling Joni. But actually, I'm not yelling at this point. I'm driving around. I realize I'm just driving around East LA slowly looking at houses.
Yeah.
That is not a neighborhood you do that shit. There are dudes posted up on corners all over my neighborhood. They're all staring at me with their face tattoos. So I'm like, I got to talk to these guys so they know I'm not fucking trying to do something. You know what I mean? So I'm like, hey, have you guys seen a fat, little, short, long-haired black and white dog?
Dude, this is going to be so awesome. They're all going to jump in and help.
I'm talking to all the gangbangers in my neighborhood, and they're like, no, but we'll keep an eye out. Good luck, bro. And they're like, what kind of dog is it? And I'm like, it's an Aussie. And they're like, what the fuck is an Aussie? And I'm just like, it's like a fat, 30-pound, long-haired black and white dog. She's gorgeous. She's not wearing a collar, by the way. So I'm talking to everybody in the neighborhood. I'm stopping parties because Joni is so people friendly. She'll just walk up to people. So I'm going to patio parties. They got the fucking tuba music blasting.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, with their...
How many parties do you think are in your neighborhood on a weekend basis? Like
40, 50?
40 to 50, right? Easily?
Yeah. They wouldn't call it a party.
No. They would call it dinner or something.
Yeah.
Or...
I mean, they're all eating. They got an illuminated Mother Mary thing.
Yeah. It's like either somebody died or someone's born or...
I don't know what the fuck's going on. Somebody graduated junior high. Yeah. I don't know. But so I'm running around. I'm stopping parties. And I'm just like, can you guys keep an eye out? She's super friendly. She's not wearing her collar. I'm thinking about the worst that could happen. Finally, I can't find her. I scour the house again. I call my girlfriend who's at work, who's a running the Alamo the Alamo Draft House. She's like in charge of the whole thing. And they're just opened.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Joni got loose. She's crying, screaming.
Sure. And
she just gets out of work, hits somebody to cover her, and barrels down here. And I'm looking around. Gangbangers like, did you find her? As I'm driving around, I'm like, I didn't find her. Party's like, hey, we didn't see her. And I'm in a whole neighborhood. I come home, and she'd been in the closet. My high ass missed her in the closet. Whoa. She was just laying down in the closet. My girlfriend is bawling, holding her, thinking she was dead. And I was like, because in my mind, I was like, if she's dead, I'll never smoke weed again.
Sure.
So I walk home and she's holding a dog and I'm like, I can smoke weed again.
That's a happy ending to that story, ultimately. This is, by the way, if you are a little nervous about the girlfriend moving in, this is a good sort of...
What if she had to move in right after I killed her dog because she had nowhere to go?
Nonetheless, I think it's not bad. By the way, you're really making the case here. Like, are you sure you want to move in with this guy?
Do you think that's what I was doing?
I think subconsciously.
Subconsciously. You're my therapist now? Listen, babe. I mean, look what happens when you...
Look, with my legs crossed this way, I can't help but want to get deep into your psyche right now.
So yeah, and as she's moving in, she's planting all these seeds she's like, I brought, this is a really nice blender. I brought my Ninja Foodie air fryer.
Yeah.
I got my kettlebells or whatever.
Those are pretty good. I mean, that's not a
blender,
bad.
Yeah.
She's coming in with heat. She's coming in with a little bit of heat. If you want, in 1 month, if you'd like, you can actually hire me to just start moving her shit out. And you just go, I'm so sorry. I don't know what he's doing. Like, I have no control over this guy.
Listen, I've seen him like this, and the last thing you want to do is intervene.
You do not want to intervene. He's
It'll
very
get bloody.
special. I mean, the guy's really traumatized. He's had a tough life, you know.
He's way stronger than he looks.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got that, you know, furry knuckle strength, which, you know.
I don't say it. He does.
Yeah. It only comes with, you know, genocide in your blood.
Yeah.
So, my man, that's really scary. I'm glad that ultimately worked out for you.
I mean, lost the dog in the house.
Yeah. Was she at all like, was she, you know, she had been in the closet at this point for several hours?
Yeah, like 2 hours. And she blended in. Like, it was hard to see her.
Yeah.
In there. I thought it was just maybe a pile of clothes.
Was she chill? Like, was she weirded out at all?
By what?
By the fact that she was in a closet for 2 hours?
No, that's where she wanted to be. It was open. She could get in and out.
Okay.
I was shaking her leash. I was shaking keys. I was shaking boxes of treats.
She just
Screaming her name.
She wasn't interested.
She was so fucked up over the fireworks.
Yeah. It's crazy that that dog was sedated and maybe prepared better for fireworks. I think about all the cousins I have in the Middle East who did not get CBD drops when
When Israelis.
when the Israelis were just bombarding their apartment complexes. And Joni gets a CBD drop when Mexicans celebrate the 4th of July.
Yeah. Or the 4th of May. or
Juneteenth,
the
maybe.
4th
I like to
of
think that they were
February.
celebrating Juneteenth.
Yeah, I think my neighborhood's big on Juneteenth.
Yeah, Juneteenth, July 4th, whatever you got, man. They're a good bunch.
Yeah, something I learned from white people in San Francisco is that all the other races love each other.
And that's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a mural around your house
Yeah.
with all the racial unity you see.
How many Mother Mary? You live in a slightly Latino neighborhood. How many?
No, Mm-mm.
You
This
don't
is
have
a
any-
neighborhood. No, this is a neighborhood purely for like people who were hit in like the hip part of town and then wanted to buy a house after 15
Oh,
years.
okay. So they were in Silver Lake, just being cool. They had kids, moved over to your neighborhood.
I can't stand this
Tyler,
place.
in El Centro, where you grew up, how many Mary murals were there?
Oh, dude, they were everywhere.
They were everywhere.
Yeah, I was
You
in,
mean Virgin Mary?
Yeah, Virgin Mary. I said Mother Mary because we don't really talk about her sexual history in the Catholic Church.
Is she
We call
hot?
her mother. We don't define her by her virginity.
Is she hot?
Oh, and Jesus of Nazareth. You ever seen that movie?
Never saw. Is that a
She's gorgeous.
pull her up? I want to see. She's not to be sexualized, of course, but
No, that's why she's a perfect woman because she's never had sex.
oh,
She got a ghost baby thrown in her.
I just feel like that seems okay.
That's a little young for me, dog. You must have been a kid when you saw this movie, Tyler.
Definitely.
Yeah, Tyler was a kid. We're gonna go ahead with that.
Yeah, she looks like she's
14.
Look, I'm sure whatever age she is, it was okay
That
back
would be
then.
like if I was like, dude, pull up fucking Claire Danes from My So-Called Life. She is so fucking hot, dude. And it's like, yeah, when I was a kid and she was my age.
You know, I never really thought about this before, but is a quinceanera just like she's now old enough to fuck party? Is that what that is essentially?
It's not like fuck, but it's like marry and
What do you people think happens when people get married?
right. It's you're an adult now.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that comes with that, cleaning, having a child, marrying a man.
We should start doing that here in America at 18. Wouldn't it be? How weird would it be if we just started doing that?
What would you call? I mean, what is 18 in Spanish, Tyler?
I don't have any once.
Once?
There's no way that's right.
It just can't be. No, this is the one thing you're not supposed to Google.
Tyler is half Mexican. Father speaks Spanish. Grew up in a Mexican town. Knows the least amount of Spanish of anybody I've ever met in my life. I think my father knows more Spanish than you.
Dude, I used to have a really crazy Mexican slang, the way I talked, and then I got made fun of that in the Navy the whole time, and now I'm super white.
They bullied you out of it. How old were you in the Navy? You had to be after 18, right?
Yeah, I signed up while I was in high school still.
So they bullied you out of speaking. Can you do an impression of how you used to speak?
Dude, I can't do it.
No. Wait. Everybody quiet. Try it one more time, Tyler.
Dude, invite over some sucias, fool.
Is a Susia a girl?
Like a dirty girl.
A dirty girl?
Dude. When we have our best of this year, that's going to be a nominee right there.
Yeah, dude, invite over some Susias, bro. So if I said that to my neighbors, would they give me a fist bump or would they give me a fist to the face?
No, you're in a fist bump.
Yeah.
My dad, he told me that whenever he goes to like a grocery store, I found this out recently. When he goes to a grocery store, he'll just like grab a Mexican guy and call him amigo and ask him where the good stuff is.
Does he come home with like giant cactus leaves and shit?
Because my dad basically goes to like Mexican supermarkets and he'll just grab a Mexican dude, call him amigo, ask him where the good stuff is.
Dude, have you ever been in a grocery store and you just can't walk out with just the most you're just high and the food is just like you get like jackfruit or like one of those long brown roots.
I was just talking about this
shit that looks insane.
I've never touched the jackfruit. I don't even know where to go with that thing. The big ass one that's all like spiky. I don't even know what the fuck you're supposed to do with a jackfruit.
You can make vegan jerky like pulled pork out of jackfruut.
Is it a sweet? Is it like no flavor?
It's like a no flavor. It takes on whatever you put it. It's really good with barbecue sauce. I'm sure Tyler can back me up on that.
Okay. All right. That's right. Dude, that's right. Tyler's a vegetarian. I always forget
That's part of the Navy bullying.
Yeah. Boy, they bullied you completely. Tyler, when did you become a vegetarian?
Like when I was like 21 or 22.
Oh, okay. That was about the same time they bullied you out of it. Damn, dude. We're gonna have Tyler on our Patreon, maybe this week, possibly. We've teased it for a long time, but Tyler before the show was showing me pictures of him and his family, and that is always—it's just so funny.
Yeah, he's dressed like Speedy Gonzalez, dude.
Tyler with his cousins, it's unbelievable. It looks like Tyler adopted his cousin.
It looks like when you see Tyler's cousins and him together, it looks like the entire weight class of a boxing weight class because it's mostly black and Mexican people, and then there's always one white guy who made it up the ranks.
When I see Tyler's and his cousins, I'm like, well, obviously somebody's giving somebody a scholarship or something, or this is one of those kinds of things. Yeah. Really cool of you, Tyler. Really cool of you to do, man.
He's like a box of puppies.
So we cannot wait. This Sunday we'll do it. We'll do a full breakdown of Tyler's background. We'll learn a little bit more about the man behind. What is he behind here? Is there the man behind the producing veil?
The glass.
The glass. That's what you do. That's what you say. Behind the glass. Yeah. The man behind the glass. He's not on the ones and twos.
No.
We only have one camera.
Also, ones and twos is about music.
It's about music. So, with that said, fantastic show today. Let's see. Biden administration fails to meet their vaccine goal. Take a look at that. New report that says Trump was considering using GITMO as a storage facility for COVID-19 patients. Oh my God. I cannot wait to see that. House votes to repeal the 2002 Iraq War. Who says Democrats aren't doing anything, dude? That's pretty good, man. I'm glad that they're finally getting around to that. Plus, we'll take a look. We'll do an update on the South Carolina execution law. I do want to talk about that. It does impact several of our Patreons directly. We have several people who contribute on a monthly basis who are currently on death row in South Carolina. So it's going to affect them completely.
How many months will their debit card last after they're executed?
Well, it depends on the last will and testament. We'll see. And also whoever, if people, there's going to be a point where we're going to have to start putting money on their commissary.
Right. Also, if you're on death row and you're about to get executed and you support the Patreon on this podcast, can you go ahead and up your offer? You know, your monthly, to like maybe 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 a month.
And just to be clear, the guys on death row who support us on Patreon, they're one of those innocent people you're always hearing about who are on death row. So we didn't get like anybody who's like crazy. Is what I'm saying.
Everybody on death row is innocent.
Yeah, well,
if we're all sinners under the eyes of God, then we're all innocent.
We got to get a fucking. That's the right sound effect for that.
Also, guys, I designed a mug.
And girls.
Yeah, sorry. Guys and girls.
And everything in between and around, so long as you join our Patreon. Patreon.com/worst hour of the week.
Coffee mug merchandise coming out. It's got the New York Post version of our logo, and it says, "Let's start the show" on it.
Ooh, fun. That'll be really interesting.
I'll tell you what. You have a hot cup of worst hour for your first hour.
Ooh, I like that.
How's that sound?
Ooh, I'll be doing those mugs.
Have a hot cup of worst hour for your first hour, and then we'll make the sound of the coffee urn pouring into the mug.
Yeah.
Right there.
And the truth of the matter is, this is something that I don't know if the man wants you to know, but you could put anything in a coffee mug. You can put
for sure.
I mainly use my coffee mugs for energy drinks.
Yeah.
I'll have a cold brew every once in a while.
That would be startling to look over into a coffee mug and see neon blue.
I drink cold brew sometimes to chill.
Yeah. Are you a nitro guy?
Yeah, like if that's what I'll do as opposed to tea.
I feel like nitro was made specifically for you because it's not called coffee.
Mm-hmm.
It has more of an energy drink kind of labeling.
There is no way that nitro cold brew is anything besides regular iced coffee. There simply is no way. It's all iced coffee, but they wrote a different word on there.
They just pour it out of a beer tap. That's the only difference.
It's the same thing everybody's doing with weed and potato chips. It's all just like, what's that label look like?
I saw a study that said there's scientifically no difference between sativa and indica.
Do you notice? I was just talking to Tyler about this. You ever notice how every single strain now is called compassion or equity?
I haven't seen that. No, the weed I bought when I bought that eighth was my first time going to a dispensary in a while. And I went to the sketchiest dispensary you've ever been in. It was in East LA. I walked in, barren, fucking disgusting room with just an ATM in the corner that was cracked open because a guy was quote unquote working on it. Bulletproof glass. With just like mason jars of the shittiest looking weed you've ever seen with handwritten labels over it. There's no way it was what they said it was.
Why did you go there?
Because it was the closest one to my house, so I just went in there. And then the woman who was just in her bra, but she was like the lumpiest, not sexy thing you've ever seen in your life. It was because the air conditioner was broken. She was just in a bra.
I would still think it was cool.
Put her fucking bare hands in there and was just like, I don't know. It felt like we were like, I had to go because they were like, you need to pay in cash. And I was like, I'm not using that ATM. So I left and used a different ATM because I was like, they're going to steal my fucking.
That ATM just has a dwarf inside with a gun.
Yeah, for real, dude. I was like, I'll be back. I want to use a different ATM.
Yeah. That's a good plan.
Yeah. I went back and bought, so it was the sketchiest, but allegedly I got sour diesel, which I've heard is really good for depression.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I like when weed names used to just be fun,
Sour diesel.
Sour diesel.
OG Kush.
Yes. Dragon pube. Whatever fun thing you
Slut
can give
breath.
me. Yeah. Now it's all just like fucking. See, if you go to like any of these like really fancy dispensaries with like the, it's lit like an Apple store, everything is like.
I'll take an eighth of defund the police, please.
Here it is inside of a impossible to open perfume bottle.
Do you have a gram of recall Gavin Newsom, but don't let Republicans run?
Absolutely. Here it is inside of a crystal that you can't open. It's meant to keep not just your children out, but also you.
Do you have any Bernie Sanders is sexist?
I'm going to get weed and specifically give it to my children. And if they can get it in, if they can get out of that little fucking container.
Lawsuit?
No, they can have it.
Oh. Well, apparently a 12-year-old was able to walk into a corner store in England and just buy a Monster energy drink.
That's what well, first of all, there's no age restrictions on that at all.
Do you think there should be?
Well, this is what this article is about. So why don't we just get started with the show here? Our first article. What am I talking about here? The story I want to talk about is this man who's, look, there's a lot of things to talk about in this world. This is something that really pertains to this show here specifically because a heart attack survivor who had 12 energy drinks a day is basically fighting to ban energy drinks from children. Is this in Florida, Tyler? Where is this?
No, it's in England.
This can't be in England, really?
Yeah, it's in England.
I for some reason assumed in England they don't sell energy drinks. I thought they were better.
Red Bull is British.
Red Bull is Thai.
But their spokesperson was always British.
Yeah. Very true.
The cartoon was British, so I assume the company's British.
We looked this up. Pretty much the only rich person in Thailand, aside from the king, is the guy who created Red Bull or whatever.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
And the Sriracha guy.
The Sriracha guy is Vietnamese.
And that's California. He lives in California.
Yeah. So the Red Bull came specifically from there. Anyways, this guy, I guess used to drink 12 a day.
So where are you at?
I drink 3 a day. 12 a day. First of all, when I heard that this guy had 12 drinks a day for like 2 decades, how long does it say, Tyler, he was drinking it? Does it say specifically how many years this was his habit? I think he said like
he had a heart attack at 55.
He had been doing it for 12 years or something like that, and he had 12 a day.
There should not be any laws changed because that guy is a fucking knucklehead.
Yes.
Like, you're a fucking moron, and now we all have to abide by your lack of control.
When I heard that, I was like, 12 drinks a day and all you got was a heart attack? Like, that actually, I'm shocked. Like, I thought more would be happening to you.
He just must be pissing pebbles.
The fact that your kidney didn't fail and your liver, this means the shit is way safer than I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought if I found out that you were drinking 12 monsters a day, I would assume in 22 years your brain would fail. It would just stop working.
I was very much looking forward to how you would rationalize this story into a way to not have to curb your energy drink intake.
Well, first, yeah, this is it. I'm telling you right now, I was shocked by how little damage happened to him. He's 55. The only negative consequence from drinking 12 energy drinks a day that I can see in his life are, 1, he had a heart attack, and 2, his son appears to have a neck tattoo, which I can only assume happens when you have enough energy drinks.
Yeah.
His son has every part of his face tattooed. This guy is absolutely one of the risks that can occur here with energy drinks.
100%. But also, yeah, I guess his 12-year-old daughter went into a store and bought an energy drink. And this was after he had his heart attack and his stent put in. So he wants to make energy drinks 18 and up, which I forget about that part of like being an adult where I'm like, I don't know, maybe kids shouldn't. I mean, they don't need it.
This is like one of those things where you and I as children didn't have this. In high school.
Jolt. I would get Jolt.
We had a couple of things. It'd be like, it's like some gum you can chew or whatever.
Surge.
There's no way that there are people who go to high school and drink Bang. Like, that's crazy to me. They have like 2 bangs a day probably.
Yeah.
So, there's definitely some shit that's existing in the world right now that just didn't exist when you and I were kids.
Yeah, I was snorting pixie dust.
I didn't touch caffeine until after high school. Definitely.
You didn't have any like tea on the floor.
No. Once
when you're having dinner on the floor.
Once I got out of high school and I sort of saw what life was, that was about when caffeine started for me.
Yeah.
Once I kind of got there, and I'll tell you what, the other part about caffeine use in my early 20s. Was that I was still pretty Muslim. So I was like, wow, finally a drug I can really fuck around with. You know what I mean?
Right. You can pray better.
It's one of the only acceptable drugs. Yeah.
Yeah. What else is there?
That's it. Technically, you can't do any. Well, look, you can smoke.
Nicotine. Yeah.
Nicotine is fine in Islam, but in actuality, it's not. According to, there's many of our favorite imams would tell you that, one can't harm the self.
The body's the temple.
The body's a temple kind of situation. So, unless it's a woman's body.
The mosque. Excuse me.
Yeah, unless it's a woman's body.
Yeah.
And it's like then it's a temple.
Yeah.
Then it's a temple from a different religion.
That's for lease.
Do whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
This guy
is a moron.
This guy can suck it.
Nobody should be listening to this dickhead. If I were a judge, and the guy brings the case before me, I'm like, excuse me, before you get into what you want, let me hear this right. You were having 12 energy drinks a day.
I can't even figure out how to get, like, I'm trying to figure out I'm trying to do the math on it. Like, how does that work?
He runs a bar.
He runs a bar. So he would just drink one after the other.
Right. And he has the supply, you know what I mean? Because he's going to have a bar's worth of all the drinks.
Yeah. Interesting. We should open up a bar now. Now that I know that you get that kind of energy drink, you can get your hands on that kind of supply.
Actually, you know what? I was drinking energy drinks in high school, and our Southern listeners will know about this. Rooster Booster. I used to drink Rooster Booster. I would get it out of the tap from the if you can remember, Racetrack. That was it. Racetrack was a gas station, and they had Rooster Booster, which is energy drink right on tap. I would get that, no ice, just a bucket of that. So no, I was fucking around with energy drinks in high school.
Tell me, first of all,
I turned out great.
Tyler's got a picture here of Rooster Booster.
Oh, they have it in a can?
Can you tell me about what the caffeine percentage on Rooster Booster? I want to know because, there's no way it's good for high school kids to be jacked up on it. But here's the thing, man. You got to let, I'll tell you what we could do. And this is maybe a good opportunity for us here at the Worst Hour. Why don't we create energy drinks for kids?
Oh, right. So it has like green tea's amount of... But it tastes like Monster.
Yeah.
It has all the sugar and the taurine and the L-theanine and the
yeah. All of it.
Except it just has a children's amount of caffeine. Right?
That's what the label says.
Yeah.
In actuality, it's going to have exactly the same amount of caffeine as Monster.
Oh, it's like a baby aspirin. Because a baby aspirin is just as potent as a regular aspirin. It's just smaller.
You just want to, you want to get them.
So that it's a smaller can. Is it one of those pouches where they rip off the top and just suck it like the applesauce?
I like these. I like an idea of a smaller can. It's children's size energy drink. Pedialyte.
Oh, because, yeah.
That'll be the name. Pedialyte.
Yeah.
The world's first energy drink for kids by people as emotionally developed as kids.
What about Sunny Denergy?
Ooh, okay. I like that.
Like Sunny D, and then under it says energy.
No affiliation with the actual company.
Yeah, no. It's the exact same logo, but if you read it correctly, it's Sunny Denergy.
Your Honor, there is no space between D and energy. It's Sunny Denergy. If you
see it as Sunny D Energy, that's your incompetence.
That's simply a matter of perception. And of course, as everybody knows, people versus Brown 52 perception is to each their own.
I think kids would love that. I think that's a great move.
All right. Tyler, put that down under our million. Do we have a folder on your computer titled $1 Million Ideas by Bryan and Ramsey?
Yeah. Sunny Denergy.
Sunny Denergy.
Denergy.
Yeah, Sunny Denergy. All right.
Yeah. Denergy sounds like a cornerback for LSU.
Not touching that one.
There's literally a guy named DeColdest.
Hey, I'll be a cornerback about that joke and get around it. I don't know anything that happens in sports.
I just want to touch on this quick. The first active NFL player came out as gay today. I included the video if you want to play it. But he has a potentially Arabic last name.
He has an Arabic last name. He does. I saw that. It's like Nasib, which means like receiver of gifts. And we'll see we'll see whether he's a top or a bottom. I'll determine exactly whether Tyler's got the ad. I'll turn up the ad. I'll fucking riff on the ad. By the way, I do want to announce to the people out there a couple of announcements before we play the video while we wait for the ad to load.
Oh, there it is.
At the Worst Hour podcast, we do have a show July 2nd in Pasadena at Bishop's Barbershop. Tickets are still available to that. We are going to be... I think the suggested is going to be $5. It's going to be a fun time. If you're in the Patreon, of course, free tickets. So that'll be
special live guests. It's our first live episode, and since California finally opened up, I think you guys should come out and celebrate with us. I think it's going to be a great time.
It'll be an absolutely fun time. And as I mentioned, I actually spoke specifically on the Patreon. If you need help if you're coming from out of state and you need help finding a place to stay, we do have an Airbnb link, a referral code.
Yep.
If you've already used Airbnb, well, then you're SOL. Not much we can do for you.
If you've never used it, we've got a referral for you.
We've got a referral for you, so you'll get $20 off your stay. Bryan and I will get $20 off wherever we choose to stay eventually.
Listen, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. You know how it works.
So that'll be a lot of fun. Join our Patreon, patreon.com/WHOTW, $5 a month. And then also be sure to follow us on TikTok and YouTube, because ladies and gentlemen, the algorithm does not like our show, and we need to defeat it with its own bullshit. You know what I mean? And the only way we can do that is with followers and likes, because these assholes, they're coming after guys like Bryan and I. They don't like the truth that we're telling. They hate it. YouTube, we should hire somebody specifically to do our YouTube appeals.
We could bring what's his name back?
The attorney?
Yeah. What was
Hakeem?
Hakeem
is pretty busy right now. I've reached out tentatively and have not heard back. So he may be pretty busy. It's his most busy time of the year, of course, June. In the Islamic calendar, June is a very busy year for a lot of beheadings. So he's gotta deal with that.
It's in between Eid. It's always busy when it's in between Eid.
Actually, he goes on vacation in between Eid.
Yeah, and then during Eid, it's the whole thing.
It's a whole thing. He does a lot of work. So we'll definitely we got another video reported today because by the way, most proper use of the Fair Use Act, if you ask me.
I know.
But you know what it is? I found out that if you trash people, they'll just call a copyright strike on you to get your shit taken down for trashing them.
Even though you're fairly using it.
Using it.
How does that work, though? That's not the law.
We'll see how the appeals process works. If you're out there and you're interested, worsthouroftheweek@gmail.com. We're seeking a full-time appeals advocate. The position pays in our eventual cryptocurrency that comes out.
Right, you'll grow with the project is what I like to tell people.
Yeah,
so as the show grows,
yeah,
so does your salary. As of right now, we're starting at 0,
and then we'll work our way up.
If you do your job well,
dude,
the potential is endless.
That's actually a really great point. It's a really great point. Whenever people ask how much you pay, how much you want to work,
yeah,
and how long are you willing to wait to get the pay? If you're willing to work super hard, and
that's literally what I do right now for work.
That's what everybody does.
I own 5% of a podcast that is hoping to get ad reads.
I own 100% of this podcast. Worst hour of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show.
It's the worst hour of the week with Bryan Vokey and Ramsey Badawi.
Tyler, press play on that video real quick.
Just want to take a quick moment to say that I'm gay. I've been meaning to do this for a while now, but I finally feel comfortable enough to get it off my chest. I really have the best life. I got the best family, friends, and job a guy could ask for. I'm a pretty private person, so I hope you guys know that I'm really not doing this for attention. I just think that representation and visibility are so important. I actually hope that one day videos like this and the whole coming out process are just not necessary.
So
NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell said in a statement today.
When I saw this, I got super excited because whenever I walk around West Hollywood, which is a very gay neighborhood, I just think how much better the NFL would be if we could get some of those guys in there.
Why do you say that?
Because there are some of the most NFL-looking bodies I've ever seen walking around there. Dude.
It's true. I used to go to the Gold's Gym out there in West Hollywood. It's a
fucking jacked, and I'm like, is it homophobia that's keeping these guys out of the league?
Yeah,
I fucking hope it isn't because
Carl Nassib, I'm not going to lie to you, did not expect for him to look like that.
He definitely looks more Carl.
When I hear there's a guy named Carl Nassib in the NFL, I do not picture a white gay dude.
Yeah. Now this is.
I pictured Carl. First of all, I pictured Carl with a K. I got to be completely honest with you.
Of course, like Karl Marx.
Yeah, and then
something over there.
Exactly. And I pictured Nassib with an apostrophe.
Right. So now this is like a huge story in America right now because the people who don't care about football are super stoked on this.
Is this the first NFL
active duty? Not active duty.
Basically.
But no, Michael Sam was drafted, but he didn't make the team. He got cut.
Oh, okay. And his problem is he came out before he made the team.
He also wasn't that good. He's undersized.
Yeah, but now he gets to say it was because he came out.
Right. It's a nice place to be.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty good. That's what this guy's probably. That's his angle.
No, this guy's legit good.
He's good.
He's on a $35 million contract.
Okay.
But what I'm saying though, that's another. By the way, he is good, but every article is like NFL superstar, and you're like, he's a mediocre defensive end. Let's not call him a superstar. But I just wondered how, since he's got an Arabic name.
Nassib, man, can you look up his background? Because Carl Nassib makes me think that he's and by the way, he looks maybe a kind of a Christian Lebanese, I would guess.
It sounds Christian to me. Because
anybody I know with an Arab last name and a super white first name typically it's a Lebanese situation, oftentimes Christian. But
yeah. Nonetheless, just how do you think Saudi Arabia would react to like a soccer player coming out?
You know, it's interesting. I don't know. Saudi Arabia is the place that is actively at any given time is always working on a blood test to figure out if you're gay. They always have that in the back burner on Saudi Arabian national projects. You know how we're always in space or we're trying to figure out what's going on in the ocean.
Yeah, they're like, what's going on in this blood?
They have an active. Just DNA test, trying to figure out who's gay. They want to get, because they're thinking to themselves, if we can just nip it ahead and get those executions from an early age,
right?
The amount of money we save the state is incredible.
Yeah, that's an abortion. They just cut the woman's head off.
Just
an abortion.
They'll prick her. That's a great movie we can write for Saudi Arabia. They test, what happens if they test the gay and the baby's already in you?
Like they do that with Down syndrome here. Like they test for Down syndrome and then you can make an informed decision on whether or not you want to keep it.
Over there, they see homosexuality as a similar set of challenging circumstances.
Well, yeah, no. And also his college teammate, who is now a New York Giant, Saquon Barkley, came out and shouted him out and said congratulations and stuff. And I just know that the football, like he's going to get booed like by some people. Like my father was not stoked on this.
Yeah. Oh,
you know what I mean?
Is he a cornerback?
He's a defensive end.
He's a defensive end in an unfortunate position to have to if you're going to come out as gay. It really is. Not because I condone any of that kind of humor, but if you're going to get a lot of homophobia on you, you can't be a tight end. You can't be a defensive end.
Wide receiver.
Cornerback. They're going to call you corner bareback.
Yeah.
They're going to say that to you. Boy.
What's a good position? Probably center.
Center's pretty tough too because it makes me think of positions.
What about punter?
Punt. Then they're gonna say they're gonna put it in your punter.
What about long snapper?
That's long jacker.
Or just long snapper.
Yeah, long snappers is long snappers would also be a tough one if you were a chick. Mm-hmm. But she's got a long snapper.
How about a free safety?
Free safety. Okay, that could be one.
Yeah, free safety.
Free safety. Yeah, I like free safety.
Yeah, it's tough to work with that one.
We don't condone any of it. Look, folks, what Bryan and I do here.
What don't we condone?
We don't condone. Look, I don't condone laughing at long snapper in the context of anybody's homosexuality. Bryan and I are truth. We're just sort of guys going, look, here's what's going on.
Yeah, here's what idiots are going to say.
Here's what people are going to say. We're stupid. We know what stupid people think.
I was going to say, despite the fact that we're so smart, we are still able to get inside the shoes of idiots.
Yeah, you know how people used to be poor and then they get rich and they give advice on finance?
Yeah.
I used to be stupid and now I'm smart and I sort of know how stupid people think.
Is this a commercial you're doing for Bang?
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Before I had Bang, I was legitimately dumb. And then I drank Bang and now I'm legitimately smart.
I'm currently drinking a Coca-Cola with coffee, which we tried on our Patreon.
You like them? How many did you buy?
Well,
oh, that shit was nasty.
I have to try something 10,000 times before I decide whether I like it or not.
That's how I was with weed.
I'm not really positive. Bryan's freaking Cheech now, man. This guy can't. All this guy talks about now. Bryan's gonna start a weed podcast. Fucking 35, dude.
What up, stoners?
Turns out this stuff turns out if you have cancer, it's really good for you.
Yeah, this strain has been known to cure cancer, but you have to get it grown. It had to have ice on it. It had to be watered with melted ice.
You know, when weed is purple, it's not even anything.
It's just they water it with super cold
just
water.
Cold or whatever.
I worked on weed farms. I know all that shit.
Yeah, it's so funny, man. All right, real quick. Let's do another one of these here. Speaking of weed, hey, recreational marijuana has become legal in Connecticut, 19th state.
This is one of those bullshit where they like act like they're addressing racism, but it feels racist.
It's actually racist, more racist. I'm going to tell you exactly why it's racist. Because legalization of weed has been total fucking bullshit. Do you know, at your trip to the dispensary, I was going to say you might have realized, but maybe you didn't because it was a sketchy dispensary. The tax situation on weed, especially in California, is fucking insane.
That was one thing I noticed at the dispensary. They said it was like $30 for an eighth.
Yeah.
I handed them a 20 and a 10.
Yeah.
It just cost $30.
Okay, so that was
that place is illegitimate.
That's an illegitimate place, and God bless those people for being important members of the community. Because these bullshit taxes it's crazy. It's like we went from jailing people for fucking having a joint to now we are just going to make it priced so expensive that those people who maybe were utilizing it to relieve anxiety, depression, or whatever can't afford it in the same way. And you got to have those fucking sketchy places now.
100%, which is going to get them locked up.
And I'll tell you what's brilliant. The government learned their lesson from the Boston Tea Party. Remember the Boston Tea Party? It was terrible.
I don't remember it, but I've read about it.
Well, yeah, true. And by the way, everything I know about the Boston Tea Party is based on Schoolhouse Rock stuff. So I'm not even sure if it really went down this way, but it was allegedly over the tea.
The tax on tea.
Now they figured, the government was like, if we just tax something we know they for sure won't want to throw into a river, we can get away with it. And these monsters have absolutely fucking done that. They know we love it too much to throw in the ocean. Well, we won't protest with it.
Another reason why I feel like this Connecticut legalization particularly feels a little racist is because they have equity tied into it very hard. They're like trying to address their racist past with how they dealt with the war on drugs. So what they're doing is 50% of the license to sell weed are going to be in impoverished communities, and they're going to be like equity. They're going to hand out the license based on equity. So 50% of them are going to have to go to marginalized populations, which just sounds like they're just trying to keep poor people high.
Sure.
Just suck the ambition out of them so they stay janitors or whatever. Not saying that that's what weed does, but it feels weird to be like, to combat racism, we're flooding your neighborhood with legal weed. Like it just doesn't sound progressive to me.
My guess is what's going to ultimately happen when they do that is a bunch of, people. It's not going to be a because it becomes a skin color thing. Well-to-do black people will probably end up getting a majority of the licenses because that's
how all of life works in every way.
So that's why this whole thing doesn't really work. But hey, Connecticut is going to, I'm sure, do what California and every other state is doing, which is literally nothing else works this way. For some fucking reason, because one thing is used to be a Schedule I drug or whatever, they can tax it by 55% and be like, booze doesn't work that way.
No, they call it a sin tax.
But then there's a city tax, there's the state excise. I literally will pay like twice what it costs on the sticker because of all the fucking taxes.
When they legalize prostitution, it's going to be the exact same
thing.
It's
going to be totally. It's going to be $40 for the blowjob, but with the taxes and all that.
Might not be though, because historically, sex workers are not a thing that a lot of men were afraid to throw in the ocean.
Is that true? Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. Fair enough.
Rich men have been known to kill a hooker here or there. So
sure.
Could you imagine they do a tea party? They're just throwing hookers off the fucking yachts.
I'll see you there. That sounds like a fucking good time.
That's how you met your wife. You wore scuba gear and you saved a hooker.
Dude, if you start throwing that many hookers into a body of water, it'll only be a matter of time before Joe Francis shows up with a camera.
Yeah. Dude, that's the oldest Hollywood trope in the world. That Lake Hollywood is just filled with prostitutes that old producers fucking killed and just ditched in the lake.
It's got to be somewhat true, right?
It's got to be somewhat true.
Well, it's a little bit true.
It's not true.
You can't have a body of water near all of these animals. And I say that, I mean, because there are some homes when you get out. When I used to drive Lyft around LA, I remember one time I took somebody up to a home where you're like, yeah, for sure. I had to from the gate to the front door was like a 10-minute drive. You know what I mean?
Yes.
In Los Angeles, that's like $48 million worth of property. There's some bodies in there.
Oh, there's bodies all over the place. That's how they grow those fucking Alice in Wonderland bushes.
Yeah.
They make mazes out of.
Yeah. Well, and that's hopefully what we're, based on the way the Patreon has been growing these past few months, we'll hopefully be there pretty soon.
Yeah, dude.
At this rate, if it goes,
going to gentrify fucking the Hollywood Hills, dude.
Oh, I like that.
And by that, I'm going to bring a genteel demeanor into that neighborhood, and I'm going to make those people act right.
All right. So 19 states, by the way, legalized pot. Insane. That
I can't wait till we get to 69.
Oh, it's going to be great. When we get to 69, where's the
69 states all legal?
We'll never add another state, right? Because all the other
Puerto
states,
Rico,
they'll never do it.
Washington D.C.
Is D.C. going to become a state eventually?
Yeah, the Democrats want to do that before the midterm elections because that'll swing. They'll have the Senate for a while at least.
Yeah.
If they get D.C. in there.
All right. Well, speaking of
you're like, all right, that's boring.
Well, it's not. Well, it's so boring that I want to bring up the most boring video that we have today. It is the House voting to repeal the 2002 Iraq War powers.
Good news, Iraqis.
Finally, this
is going to bring some people back from the dead.
Yeah. Hit play. Let's watch this because this is C-SPAN. Nothing I love more than fucking C-SPAN, dude.
Yeah, dude.
And the nays are 161.
Oh, of course. Why would they have both? Why would they have sound in both ears?
I know.
All right. So
it passed, but how cool would it be as a part of this resolution to repeal the Iraqi war that they take some DNA and they Jurassic Park Saddam Hussein?
Oh, that would be.
And he just walks in, dude, like with fucking robot legs.
He deserves it. He did not have a fair jury. Hey, Tyler, can you tell me who the one nay is? One Democrat said that they were not going to do this.
I bet it's somebody who's old and voted for it and didn't want to be called a flip-flopper in their next election.
Yeah. Dude.
Oh, it's probably that fuck from Montana.
And by the way, so these what does this exactly mean? Does this
basically the whole reason if you want the boring answer, the whole reason they're doing this is it's like a way to take steps to limit the president's ability to launch a war without the approval of Congress.
I see.
That's the whole reason why they're doing it.
And so this is to give the legislature more power or to take away power that was pre-existing
to reestablish the original purpose or the original process for how conflict would be waged, which is a president is supposed to get approval from the Congress before it can start a war.
I mean, this is just it's what a giant waste of time. My only thing that I took away from this that I like is I think I'm going to adopt this strategy of admitting I'm wrong 23 years later in a formal declaration.
Yeah, I would like to repeal cheating on Linda.
It would be something I'm formally doing now. I have one small part of me is an A, but the rest of me is the A.
I don't understand why you're still fucking pissed after all these years. I repealed it.
It's like, what is this? I guess again, you take away the power from the the legislative branch, sure, but I have a feeling that we'll be back in Iraq at some point. Iraq is the one place. That's the one thing.
Can't stay out of there.
We can't stay out of Iraq, dude.
Yeah, dude. It's like fucking Americans in Vegas.
Well, soon enough, China will come in and we'll make everything right.
Iraq has a third of most amount of oil in the world.
When the oil is gone or no longer relevant, and it'll be there 20, 30, 40 years from now, then we'll probably be in Africa or something. That'll probably be where the wars are waged. Wherever the metals are, whatever, the cobalt and the, what's the other one? Lithium.
Lithium, they love that.
Lithium's a big one.
South America.
South America.
It's kind of all the same places that also have oil. I mean, Africa, South America.
Yeah, it's a good point. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Biden administration fails to vaccinate or meet vaccine standard. So I guess he was supposed to by July 4th. What was the amount here? Play this video. Let me see.
Hello.
I know. Jeez Louise.
The administration will not meet its goal of at least partially vaccinating 70% of Americans by July 4th. U.S. health officials say they will keep pushing, in large part because of a dangerous variant that's got a foothold in many other countries. CBS 4's Danya Backus explains.
Who?
The push to get shots in arms continues as there is new concern about the dangerous Delta variant. The Delta variant was first detected in India and is now the dominant strain in the UK. Delta is thought to be more contagious. And
I mean, that's beautiful that's good for India, right?
That they exported it out to England?
Into England? I think it's the least the least they could have given back to England.
I know.
More Americans need to be vaccinated to stop the strain. The average number of new vaccinations has fallen below 1 million a day. The Biden administration is pushing to have 70% of the adult population.
They filmed me when I got my vaccine. I've never seen me on B-roll.
Really? They filmed you?
Yeah, they filmed me.
I would have absolutely been like, can I see the notice that you guys put up here to film me without my permission?
I didn't get a release form, man.
Residents over 12 have been vaccinated.
That's my favorite guy, by the way. I was watching To Catch a Predator earlier today. The guy who says he complains that it's illegal what they're doing. He gave him the fuck a 6-year-old and he's like, what you're doing is actually illegal. All right, I think we got the point. They didn't vaccinate enough people.
I found out a little secret about Joe Biden on how to make him coherent.
Okay.
in YouTube, there's playback speed.
Uh-huh.
If you put Joe Biden on 1.25, he becomes a coherent individual.
Interesting.
It's pretty interesting. Will you pull up the G7 press conference? I want to show you this real quick.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Pull it up. I want to see.
Tyler, on YouTube. It's on YouTube. It's not in the outline.
It's spelled G
and then
7.
number 7. And then it's Biden press conference.
You know what I hate about this? By the way, we talked about this on our Patreon. It looks like that the effort to get more vaccines by giving people free beer and pizza is failing. The one thing that look, whatever your feelings about the vaccine, fine. But if you don't have the vaccine right now and you're hearing the news that they're giving out free Little Caesars to people who get the vaccine, do you take a moment to go, who am I standing shoulder to shoulder with right now? Who am I standing shoulder? They're not giving out Kindle credits. They're giving out beer and free joints. They're giving out tickets to a Bob Marley cover band.
Yeah, to a fucking ping pong show at a strip club. Yeah, no, that's a very embarrassing group to be in.
Take a moment to go, who am I hanging with right now? Because I'll tell you what, I had that moment with Islam where I went like, all right.
I had that moment with punk.
You had that moment where you go, I had that moment with Republicans where I went, I am standing, there is no question that everybody here hates gays.
Yeah.
There's no question.
Right.
And I'm here right now. So I either have to not be here.
Yeah, or I have to do the alternative.
I found a way to do both.
So, Tyler, press this at regular speed first.
Oh, okay.
He looks so bad right there, man. I mean...
okay, before you press play, Tyler, I want to say this. For a almost 80-year-old man who is dead, that is the best you can fucking look.
It's a completely
They have done
point.
a good job on him. Okay, now press play, and we'll listen to his opening statement at regular speed.
Okay.
And then listen to it at 1.25 and watch how much more coherent he gets.
Let me start by thanking Prime Minister Johnson for incredible hospitality.
You got to stop Biden. Stop
He
talking.
provided for all of us at the G7. I'd like to thank Yale Leopard, who is our charge at the embassy, filling in for the
Is
ambassador.
Sarge something people say, or is he doing what annoying people do with Target?
It's a sergeant. It was a sergeant in the police.
Is that what somebody's white mom would say about her?
Now we've just wrapped up.
Okay, now Tyler, go back to the beginning. Now let's listen to this at 1.25. He sounds like an actual guy.
Okay, let's hear it. I got to say this. I say this every time we talk about Biden. Biden, I feel so bad about what's happening to you. Stop talking. I don't want to think about this anymore.
Good.
We're all doomed to this.
I know.
Well, good afternoon, and let me start by thanking.
I mean, this is amazing.
Johnson for incredible hospitality and welcome that he provided for all of us.
He sounds a little slow.
I'd like to take
it's still not perfect, but
Leopard, who is our charge at the embassy, filling in for the ambassador.
It makes a huge difference.
I mean, sounds like the guy who ran with Obama.
The entire team, and Yale is vital to keeping this UK-U.S. partnership going and moving smoothly as it is now. We've just wrapped up what has been an extraordinary collaborative and productive meeting of the
He
G7.
sounds presidential, doesn't he?
Everyone at the table understood and understands.
But I'll tell you what, because this particular clip is forcing me to listen to what he is saying.
Wait, go to minute 55, Tyler.
Step up and deliver.
You want to hear?
I might understand you watched 55 minutes of this.
And
you know why I spent some time with Biden is because I spent so much time with Trump, and I realized I did what annoyed me about people. I completely checked out once Biden was elected. Mm-hmm. So I was like, let me get in here and see what he's talking about, what the narrative is, what's going on with Biden. I didn't get any answers, but I did watch him speak for an hour. Minute 55, are you there? Go ahead and press play on that.
The foundation to
this is about Putin.
Work out how we're going to deal with the 100 nations that are poor and having trouble finding vaccines and having trouble dealing with reviving their economies if they were in the first place in good shape. And I committed that we would provide a half a billion beyond the 80 million we've already done, 500 million doses of
He's
Pfizer
still pretty
vaccine,
rough.
which we contracted to pay for. In addition to money we put into the COVID project, which is that COVID is.
I'm sorry,
I
can you
know
go to
all know,
57?
but a lot of people may not know what COVID is.
Do you hear that?
Is a system whereby
a lot of people may not know what COVID
provide
is.
funding for states to be able to get access to vaccines.
He's saying that because earlier in the morning he felt that way. Yeah, if you want to turn it back on, Tyler, I think it died. Yeah, he's fucking
dude.
But here's the thing: what that particularly made me realize while watching is that politicians just say so much of nothing that it is infuriating to listen to. Because you're totally right. At 125, he's speaking like that's the regular pitch that people speak at.
Yeah, that's the speed, the rhythm.
Before we get out of here, because I do want to I want to see what Trump was going to do with people in Gitmo.
Oh, we have to. Yeah, after listening to Mushy Mouth
talk for so long, I'd love to just get somebody who knows a thing or two about rhetoric to do some talking.
There was a funny moment in the G7 where Boris Johnson and his wife were getting a picture taken with Joe Biden and his wife, and they make him walk an unfair mount, even if you're not 80. They made him walk an unfair mount, taking their pictures as they walk to this part where they're getting their picture taken on a sidewalk in front of the ocean. And Joe Biden goes, "All right, everybody in the water now."
Yeah, he unfortunately has to but that's just the beauty of Joe Biden. If there's anything I do like about him, it's that he doesn't seem to see what everybody else sees. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't see the creepy behavior at all because he keeps doing it. That's pretty fun. That rules.
What if the Johnsons and the Bidens just had a 4-way right there, right at the G7, right in Cornwall or wherever the fuck they were?
I wouldn't hate it. What's Boris Johnson's wife look like? Hot chick or what?
Well, next to him, she looks fucking insanely gorgeous.
Fair enough.
He's legitimately turning into Gary Busey.
Yeah, he is. He really is. All right, let's take a look here. Trump reportedly wanted to send COVID-19 infected American tourists to Guantanamo.
The ones who came to Seattle, who were coming from China, isn't that how it first arrived?
Yeah.
He wanted to send them to Gitmo. What's wrong with the hospital? We don't do that with tuberculosis. We just put him in a hospital.
Well, let's hear him out. Let's hear him out. Is it one of these fucking videos where they just play music and put their fucking article over it?
Oh, I wanted to hear him say it.
I wanted to hear him say,
"What's wrong?" You know why? Because it's from a book. See, here's the thing about Trump stories. Most of the funny stories about him come from books, and you have no idea if they're true or not.
Yeah,
but that's what's cool about him.
I wanted to see the video of him being like, "What's happening to Gitmo?"
Yeah. But he doesn't use that voice whenever there are phone calls.
Oh yeah.
Like when you get him on the phone, he's like, "Yeah, let's go ahead and send him to Gitmo."
So what? Apparently, ultimately, he just said that. Let's see.
He said "fuck" in a speech recently the other day. We can listen to that.
I don't like. So first of all, this isn't even verified on any capacity. This is just somebody who worked in his place is writing a book or something.
But that's what's funny about him is that it's completely believable.
Yeah. Well, look, that makes me kind of, because it makes me realize that Trump actually really didn't know all that much about it. Like the fact that he thought that was a reasonable solution. I mean, maybe it was. I'm not really sure. I don't think anybody really understood what was going to happen. I mean, look, I get it. He has a lot of wacky ideas when it comes to the COVID stuff, but now everybody's all about the Wuhan lab leak theory.
Yeah, well, apparently, I see. Maybe you can shed some light on this. Maybe you're more tuned in than I am.
Yeah.
But Jon Stewart went on Stephen Colbert and advocated for the Wuhan lab leak theory. And then the entire left exploded on Jon Stewart. Why is the left so opposed to this Wuhan lab leak theory?
Yeah, I mean, look, man, it's the mix. I think it's the identity politics.
Because they're Chinese?
Yeah,
because of the Stop Asian Hate thing?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I think that...
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
If I'm not, my educated guess, and I would say my guess is pretty decently educated.
Tyler, do you have a guess on this?
I think it sounds more like it came from an animal.
You don't believe it came from?
I don't believe it came from.
But why?
Because everything like whenever they interviewed like what were they called
epidemiologists?
Yeah.
They all say, because that you can get that disease right now and study it right now under a microscope. Anyone can do that, right?
What they're saying, people are saying is that there is a lot of evidence suggesting now that the Wuhan lab that studies coronavirus specifically all fell ill November 2019 with a pretty strange and strong flu. And the allegation is that they're doing the game of functioning where they're juicing up the virus or whatever.
But my thing is, like, if they had an accident, that's not going to make. I mean, listen, the people doing a lot of the crimes, the violent crimes, are mentally ill people. If I hear that China had an accident I'm not going to go start bashing people's fucking skulls in.
I'll tell you right now, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, those who are committing the hate crimes had their minds made up far before COVID-19 was ever a thing.
Yes,
it's not like this thing really set them over the top. It's like they were looking for just one more reason.
Right. Maybe the coronavirus made them focus on Asian specifically, but they were like, I wish you would about anything that wasn't white or whatever.
It just is what it is, and look, but I think that ultimately that because there's something called Chinese people, and then there's something called China, and that's a government. I think that here's the problem, is if you tried calling it the People's Republic of China or the PRC or something, then you sound like an insane person. If you refer to China as anything other than China, you sound like an insane person.
You sound like the kind of person who has to say Hussein when you say Barack Hussein Obama.
Yeah.
You sound like Barack Hussein Obama.
So look, man, this is
because if it comes from a bad or it came from a lab, I don't care. I just don't understand why everybody's so emotional about the topic.
I'm telling you, my son is going to be like, didn't coronavirus start in that lab in Baltimore?
In Maryland? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be like, yeah, I think.
Yeah. I
don't know.
I believe it was a bat in Austin. It was a bat in Austin. I think
somebody tried a plant-based bat from Austin, and apparently you just can't counterfeit bat that way. They made it in a lab, and of course, that's what China's telling people. That the lab was Americans were sinfully trying to make fake meat.
Well, China is legitimately right now pushing, because you can politic for a Nobel Prize. Mm-hmm. They're legitimately politicking to get a Nobel Prize for the Wuhan lab.
I vote for them too.
There's like, dude, every week I love and hate China. But if that gets a Nobel Prize for science or research or whatever they're up for, I would love that. That would be so fucking funny to me.
I think that they will win it, and I will be voting for it. I will be campaigning online for them to win it because they deserve something.
Yeah. I just see, like, I catch wind of people losing their minds over the origin of corona. And in my mind, I'm like, well, we have it. It's good to know where it came from. I'm not emotional about, like, accidents happen or whatever.
Sure.
I'm just not emotional about it. There's certain issues that I don't even get why they're divisive.
I'm telling you, it's unfortunately because of this, and this is the reason why the Chinese government, the People's Republic of China, No, it's
CCP is what they say.
CCP.
Communist Chinese, what is P?
Party?
Penis? Oh, yeah. The Communist Chinese penis has been leaking.
They're going to win because over there, they're totally like, dude, in China, they're like, hey, we think black people start. Like, the government is saying that. Like, there's no identity politicking going on in any capacity over there. So,
well, there is. It's just the opposite.
It's truly the opposite. Yeah, they have. Unfortunately, what's happened here is China has 2021 technology, and then like United States 1903.
Yeah.
Cultural or ethnocentrism, you know?
Yeah.
Look, man, I know you were talking about this on our last Patreon. You're hoping that America devolves into Europe. I hope so, too. I think that would be the best ending for that. That's the absolute best ending.
Yeah, I just hope we become another top tier as far as economic, but just just unimportant, uninfluential.
Part of a bunch of boring organizations and coalitions across the world.
Exactly.
Like NATO.
Our army becomes a foreign legion.
Yeah. A lot of berets. People wear berets around. And then we have like the military becomes a vestige of what the country used to be.
We no longer have the American flag. We have the UN flag on our military outfits. Like, that's what I'm hoping for. Just like a socialized healthcare, inconsequential, nobody gives a shit European country.
Could happen.
I would love to live in that.
Best case scenario.
I hate being number one. There's too much pressure.
Worst case scenario, this place becomes basically a Uyghur slave camp. They include, in addition to Uyghurs, they include Americans, Puerto Ricans, Samoans. They get everybody in the territories.
And we're just making denim jeans
all day long.
All day.
We're making denim jeans to sell to other Americans, by the way.
Yeah, the
Chinese people are too smart to waste their time with those awful American
They'll
styles.
do the social credit score, and if your social credit score is too low, then you gotta
you
fucking,
go to GITMO. Yeah,
you gotta sew t-shirts or whatever. You gotta GITMO. The whole they changed the country to just GITMO.
I look forward to it. I welcome it with arms wide open. I'm excited about it. I was even listening to the Chinese national anthem the other day. It was a pretty good song, so I could get behind it too.
Do you think there's a little bit of relief when you get like a life sentence in prison of at least I know where I'm gonna be? Because like a lot of my anxiety is about where the future is going.
Yeah.
There's got to be a little bit of relief when you get a life sentence, right?
That's why I've said it once, I'll say it again. I think the last 20 years of your life in prison is a good plan. Good retirement plan. You can listen, you can go to an old folks home, which is like basically a prison, or you can go to a prison and meet some cool people, meet some young fellas. Hey, my sex drive's gone. I don't need to hang with chicks.
I love it. You scan, if there's another pandemic, you scan PPP loans and unemployment. What are they going to do? Put you back in jail? You're already there, dog.
By the way, if I'm in prison, I'm eating hot Cheetos, top ramen. I'm not going to I'm going to enjoy the shit out of like all the best processed foods that we have left.
Oh yeah, dude.
And then by the way, I'll do a crime worth going to jail for. So that's kind of cool. It won't be murder, but
what if it was like, what if you murdered a pedophile?
I mean, what did I catch him doing it, or is it an alleged situation?
Either way, proof.
Either way, both answers are going to be the same thing. I'm too sensitive of a guy to commit murder or really do a violent crime. My crime is going to have to be probably, some type of interstate highway or interstate commerce violation. Or
I think I could handle murdering somebody who needs murdering. I think I couldn't handle surprise murder, like running somebody over with a car.
Oh, dude.
I think that would destroy me.
I think about that stuff all the time.
Yeah. But like if somebody needed murdering and I went and I murdered them, I think I could compartmentalize that.
But what? So you're just not supposed to watch YouTube videos when you drive?
I know.
That's what I don't get. That's the part that I guess I understand, the part where they're like, you kill somebody, but I just don't know how I'm not going to watch police interrogations while
the road
while
is so
driving.
boring.
It's insanely boring.
God, it's just cars and fucking yellow lines.
So I can listen to music. Okay, yeah, all right, fine. But what if I listen to the video and also look at the video while I'm driving?
Or maybe I pull up the karaoke version of the song and I'm reading the lyrics along while I'm driving.
You're watching a lyric video while driving?
I'm just singing.
The most avoidable thing you could be doing is... Could you imagine if somebody killed you and you're like, what'd they do? They were... looking up the lyrics to the Macarena while they're saying it. They weren't sure if it was one and a two or if it was one and a two.
I was singing Mamba number 5 and I slaughtered a child.
Statistically, there has to be people on this planet who have been murdered, killed by somebody who was tweeting something. And the tweet that they put up was like 2 likes, 3 likes.
Yeah.
Maybe even 0 likes.
Let me ask you this.
Maybe even the tragic one of them all, a retweet without a like. And you died? And somebody died? Somebody lost their brother for this?
Do you think that it's ever happened?
Astaghfirullah
Alhamdulillah. Do you ever think that this has ever happened? You're in the middle of sending a tweet, crush somebody, hit send, and then go check on them? Do you think that's ever happened?
It had to. Because at that point, you're just there. You're there, and it's muscle memory at that point. I'm not going to stop thunder and lightning while it's happening.
And then the cops are going to come out, and they're going to be like, you sent a tweet right at the point of impact.
I'd be like, officer, have you ever, it's like trying to put cum back into your penis. You can't do it. It's just, at this point, it's just coming out of me. I can't really stop it.
Officer, I shared this Twitter account with my girlfriend. She sent the tweet.
Oh, I like that. Okay, yeah.
That's why I wouldn't have said it's like putting cum back in my dick. I don't think that would help.
You're pretty good at this, man. You really could have had a good career as a criminal defense attorney.
Your Honor, I was merely... Do you know how difficult it is to put semen back in the shaft, Your Honor? It cannot be done.
People versus Ramsey Badawi.
I pose you to bring a man in here who can. put the semen back up his urethra.
Did
I turn into Bill Cosby at the end?
Yeah, you did. It was pretty good. I liked it. Bill Cosby, I would hire Bill Cosby as an attorney.
That'd be so funny if that's the shit he was saying. He's just blind in the court case, and he's like, I can't put the semen back in the bottle.
Bill Cosby, I just realized, is living the dream that I described earlier.
He really is.
I guess I know what I got to do.
And he did do a crime worth the sentence.
Boy, oh boy, did he get one worth the sentence. I again, I'm going to find somewhere between killing somebody with a car and what Bill Cosby did to get into jail.
But I believe Bill Cosby's in on one charge.
If I'm not mistaken, he could get out way earlier. Bill Cosby can absolutely get out earlier. He just has to be like, he has to admit. I believe there's like a charge where it's literally like part of it is if he admits, essentially wrongdoing, there would be some mitigating factor that would allow him for a lower sentence.
He'll never do that.
He'll never do it.
But also, he's posting on Instagram so much that there must be like I would love to see that movie or that documentary about because he's blind.
Yeah.
So whoever's posting for him is like, Bill, come on, I'll help you post on Instagram.
How does it work? He just tells somebody post this picture, post that picture.
Yeah, it's a lot of like celebration of black excellence. It truly is. That's the worst shout out ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
congrats to Dave Chappelle on his new special #Black Excellence from the biggest rapist in the history of entertainment.
I assume no thoughts on Hannibal Buress's newest special. He's probably keeping those opinions to himself. Man, well, listen, Cosby, you deserve what you have, and also congratulations.
Cosby unto the prophet.
No peace onto him. No peace onto the cause. Okay, let's get out of here. Can we check out this real quick video? What do you got here? Wait.
I was going to plug the show again.
Plug the show again.
July 2nd, Bishop's Barber, 7 p.m., worst hour live. For our first time ever, we really want to open it up with a banger because if we can draw a crowd, and you guys who listen, we do have a decent amount of local listeners. If you guys do come out, I have the opportunity. I have a venue that is very nice and has a projector, and we can really do a legit live podcast situation. If it's something that is something that's viable, then we're going to do that. So let's pack out this test run.
It's going to be fun. My dream here is for it to be a regular thing. I'd love to do it just like
that's what I'm saying.
Weekly, people can come to the show. We can fucking get wild. Bryan and I will fucking show you guys beheading videos. You guys can see Tyler in person.
Yeah, dude. You guys can hold up your hands. Yeah, hold up your hands to his hands and see how tiny they are.
We actually, one of the perks of our Patreon is if you're in our Patreon, by the way, and you come to the live show, you can hold hands with Tyler for 30 seconds. Holding Tyler's tiny little hand is so comic.
Is the wife okay with that, Tyler?
I think she's all right with it.
Okay.
All right. It's part of the time. Look, tell her it's work. I mean, there's not much you can do.
For the next 4 episodes, we're all fellas living with the gals.
Dude. It's over for you, my friend.
I thought, which one is it? Yeah.
No. I meant the ISIS music. Pretty soon you'll be playing it. All right. Be sure to follow the show, by the way, all social media platforms, TikTok and YouTube especially. Get on and follow us. The algorithms are coming after us. They're shadow banning us. I don't even know all the words.
It's so frustrating. TikTok will let a 12-year-old fucking twerk in a thong, but I say fart and we get fucking banned.
It's insane. I literally am looking at preteen cleavage all day long.
Wait, what?
I search preteen cleavage. That's my search.
I do not co-sign to that statement. That is the views of Ramsey Badawi do not reflect upon the views of his co-host Bryan Vokey
or Ramsey Badawi. We're putting it on. We put it squarely on Worst Hour LLC. All right. Good of a note as any, man. Be sure to come check us out live, ladies and gentlemen. Bryan, anything else you got to find say to these fine people?
Check the show notes for a link to buy coffee mugs that say, let's start the show.
Oh, check out Best Movie Ever, Tyler's podcast.
Oh, yeah. Tyler, what movie's up next?
Well, right now we're going through a rebranding.
Oh.
We're going to be changing the name of the podcast because apparently there's like 20 other podcasts named Best Movie Ever.
You know, when you guys first told me that was your podcast, I thought, crazy. Nobody had that already. I didn't even think. I was just like, that's awesome, man, that it worked out that way. Yeah. Okay. Well, listen.
Do you have any more to say about it?
No, we're working on it.
So do you have do you have a couple names kicking around that you're thinking about?
Oh, right now we got Virgin Movie Slayers.
Okay.
Jackson's a big fan of that one.
Uh-huh.
And then we got some good recommendations from the boys, like Celibate Celluloid.
Okay.
Let's say the one that I sent.
Which one? You sent a few.
I sent the Pulp Fiction one. Say it.
Oh, no, thank you.
I think if you're quoting somebody, it's okay, even if it's in a podcast title.
Yeah.
Either way,
movie quote.
Ladies and gentlemen, be sure to check out Tyler's podcast. The link will be in the show notes. Whatever it's called when it gets to you, between you and your maker there. Hey, if you got nothing else to say, I got nothing else to say. On behalf of everybody here at the Worst Hour Nation, peace be on to the prophet, baby.
Long live Joe Biden.